Good morning everyone and welcome to today's video. So today's video takes us back to our final park day on January 8th, and we just spent the day at the Magic Kingdom. So let's head back to January 8th and let's go to the Magic Kingdom. So the day started out pretty much as the other days had. We got up and had breakfast at the food court. I had a bagel and cream cheese, and Sam had the breakfast platter, which was Mickey waffles and sausage, bacon, and some eggs. And so once we had ate that and filled up our reusable drink cups, off to Magic Kingdom we went. So we started out at the Haunted Mansion, went through the Haunted Mansion. We got stopped by some silly spooks a couple of times, and one even tried to follow us home. So once we got off the Haunted Mansion, Sam needed to run over to hang out in Rapunzel's bathroom for a second. So I wandered around Memento Mori. Sam and I call it Morimoto's eyeball. Because I couldn't remember the name of it. I was like, Morimoto's eyeball? And so now that's what it's become, but it's Memento Mori, which is the gift shop for Haunted Mansion. And it's actually relatively new. It actually wasn't there on our first trip. It was built just in recent years. So once we got off the Haunted Mansion, Sam asked what I wanted to do. And I'm like, well, do you want to ride Splash before it doesn't splash anymore? Because if you didn't know, Splash Mountain is going to go under some refurbishment, and it's going to be rethemed to The Princess and the Frog. Now, Sam and I are both really excited for the retheme, but we really do like Brer Fox, Brer, and the theming that it currently has, so we wanted to be able to ride it one last time before we didn't have the option not to, and kind of say goodbye to the ride. So the wait posted said 25 minutes. I'm like, that's fine, not a big deal. And for December, it was really warm, but we got in line and we were actually through the line in about 10 minutes, and this trend would actually follow us all through the park all day. So we got on and got off Splash, and we were in the very back row, and we were something that we've noticed in the winter months in Florida is that they do lower the amount of water that is on the ride, and you could actually tell there was probably a gap about 5 inches or so, maybe 4 inches, where the water had been drained down a little bit. And we were also lucky that the waterfalls were not going, because Sam would have gotten stuck and gotten pretty wet. So once we got off of Splash, we headed over and rode Big Thunder. And once we got off of Big Thunder, we were getting kind of hungry. So we headed over to Pecos Bills for lunch. So for lunch, Sam had the beef nachos, which is tortilla chips topped with queso, seasoned ground beef, lettuce, tomato, sour cream, and salsa. And I got the chicken fajita platter, which comes with chicken, yellow rice, beans, fajita vegetables, lettuce, tomato, sour cream, salsa, and flour tortillas. I also got a side of guacamole. And we each got some desserts to try. Sam got the Bear Tracks slushie, which is a 50th anniversary special item, which is root beer and vanilla slushie topped with whipped cream, chocolate, and peanut butter pieces. They're kind of like peanut butter chips. And I got the iridescent nugget churros that were served with a chocolate dipping sauce. I will have to say, the fajita platter, the food's always really good at Pecos Bill. We remember when it was actually Mexican food, so, or not Mexican, barbecue when we first went, so going to eat Mexican there is always kind of weird for us, but it's always really good food, and it's a lot of food. The salsa, they used to have, you've heard of the restaurant with the toppings bar, that's Pecos Bill. The toppings bar is not available right now. They do give you all the toppings in little containers on the tray. The salsa and the sour cream and the guacamole all come in individual packets, which was really nice. We only ended up using one of the salsas. The salsas was that deep. If you've ever gotten takeout from Olive Garden and gotten a container of their dressing, add maybe an inch to inch and a half to that, and that's how deep it was. It was big. I really couldn't believe it was that big, and they gave us 2. We ended up giving the other salsa because we didn't open it to another family that was trying to have 2 of their kids share a container of salsa with their chips. They were pretty glad for the extra container of salsa. The Sam said that he wasn't really a big fan of the Bear Tracks slushy, and I was really disappointed in my nugget churros. They were actually cold and kind of stale, like they had been made quite a bit prior. But, you know, kudos to Disney for making an attempt to have such neat foods for the 50th anniversary. And kudos to the cast members, because I know they made them early, expecting a lunch rush. And we did eat during the lunch rush. While I waited on the food, Sam went to hold down a table because we had already ordered. He had... they gave us an extra copy of the receipt. So if someone asked, he could go, my wife is waiting on the food. I have an extra copy of the receipt. So, we ate our lunch, and after that we kind of needed to let our food digest because we were both so full. So we headed over to Tomorrowland to see Mike Wazowski and go to Monsteropolis and help him fill his laugh canister. It's always so much fun to go in and listen to all the jokes that have been texted in. And it's a great place to go and kind of just get in and out from the heat. It's always obviously it's air conditioned. It's an inside show, and it's one of our favorites. From there, we got in line for Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. Again, the wait line was posted for like 90 minutes, and we were through in 30. So one of the things that we noticed was that all of the wait times seemed really inflated towards the end of our trip. And I know that several people who were there about the same time have also mentioned the same thing, that the wait time seemed to be really inflated. I don't know if it's because they were just rolling out Lightning Lane. They don't do the little red cards anymore where they'll hand them to you and then beep them to be able to kind of help track the time. I kind of wish they'd bring those back because it was a little bit more of an accurate wait. So once we finished being galactic heroes, and bummer, when we got, when we got home, we watched a video on Space Ranger Spin, and now Sam knows my secret of how I always beat him. So once we got off of there, we headed over and got in line for the People Mover, and you may be wondering what we did while we were in line. I read a book on my phone. I have Kindle Unlimited, so I caught up with a couple of my series that I really enjoy, and Sam played games on his phone. It was a really great way to get some extra reading in. So we toured around Tomorrowland from the Tomorrow Transit Authority People Mover, or the TTA. And after that, we both decided that we were ready for a snack, even though we had just eaten lunch. And we headed over to Storybook Circus. Now, if you know Storybook Circus, the big top where the gift shop is actually, a lot of the stuff is gone, but they've moved some of the tables and chairs inside behind the snack counter. And Sam got a caramel apple, and quite frankly, I don't remember what I got. But Sam made such a mess with the caramel apple. Used to, they would cut it for you, but now because of everything going on, they won't cut it for you anymore. But they gave him a plastic knife and kind of told him, good luck. I wish you could take a apple slicer into the parks, but I'm going to guarantee that would get confiscated. So once we ate our snack, we wandered around Main Street USA, we wandered through the shops, we just kind of wandered around the park, we took pictures, and Sam goes, hey, I got us a dining reservation. And I said, oh? He goes, yeah, how does dinner at Ohana sound? I'm like, dinner at Ohana sounds great. Unfortunately, it was one of the worst meals of our trip. And here's why. The starters that they brought us were fine. I had told them I have a shellfish allergy. Please don't bring us any shrimp. They brought us shrimp. And the meat was actually the beef was still bleeding when they brought it to us. The chicken was raw, like frozen in the center. And when I said something, they gave us a 10% discount. They're like, well, this is just how things go anymore. Note to self, we're not eating at Ohana because frozen chicken is not okay. The food really was a lot better when it was served not family style, when they'd walk around with the skewers. I even asked for some steak that was, fully cooked, and it was as hard as my desk. And I'm like, And they're like, well, you didn't eat the steak, the extra steak we brought you. And I'm like, beating it on the tray. And they're like, well, that's how you asked for it. And I said, no, I just asked for it not to be bleeding. Like, I didn't want it to still be, like, half alive. And so everyone cooks differently, and I know Disney was trying to make it right as best as they could. I just wasn't very happy with it. So I did get to try, finally, after wanting one for so long, I got to have a Lapu Lapu, and I was really excited, and it was really good. Don't know if it was really worth the price, but for doing it one time, I was pretty happy. So once we finished paying our bill, and they brought us a really pretty dessert that said congratulations because we were celebrating our anniversary, and we took our last pictures in the Magic Kingdom, and then we headed back to our room to finish packing up, relax, and get ready to get up super early the next day to go home. So that's it for kind of the overview of the day. Let me know in the comments below. Have you eaten at Ohana recently? Have you experienced the same thing? Was it the holiday / marathon rush? Could it have been and I always know that they have a potential for cook training new people, but you would think that someone who is a chef would know the difference, and you would think they would have to be temping everything. Like, have you had the same experiences? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Cue the photo montage.
Which offers you this chilling challenge to find a way out. Of course, there's always my way.
Your monster of ceremonies. That belongs to a small, round, green, one-eyed monster. If you know his name, shout it out.
Mike Wazowski.
Mike, you knew. Well, then we should try something. When I point to this side,